Hi there, welcome to lesson 4 in the Barely Beginners series. This is a class about standing poses. And standing, there's a lot more to standing than you think, but we're going to start by standing. So this is called Tadasana or mountain pose. And stand with your feet. Now, if you can do this in your bare feet, please do so because you do get a great feeling for the grip that you have in the internal muscles of your toes. There's some really good, it just gives you really good feedback and you do have good grip. So that's why you often see, people doing yoga in their bare feet. You have a better grip, you have a better feel, you're not going to slide around. So feeling into the four corners of your feet, under the pad of your big toe, your baby toe, and then all around the inside and the outside of your heel. So really feeling the weight going through the four corners of your feet. So not the weight too far forwards or too far backwards. Let's work our way up. So pulling your calves forwards. It's a hard one. I always find that instruction difficult, but if you find it easy to follow that, just pulling your calves forwards. Pulling your kneecaps up. So kind of clenching, if you like, your thigh muscles, your quads muscles here. That's the next instruction. So you can feel when you pull your kneecaps up, it's kind of changing the rotation of your hips a little bit. Now you're neither internally rotating like that or externally rotating your hips. You're somewhere in the middle, okay? So pulling the kneecaps up. And then the next instruction is to pull your tailbone down. So your tailbone is this triangular bone here at the back of kind of lower end of your spine. And imagine you had a tail and somebody was pulling your tail down towards the ground. So you're not pulling it down so far that you're kind of going forwards like this. You're kind of somewhere in the middle. So you're just kind of tucking your tailbone in. So somebody's pulling your tail down towards the ground, but you're not clenching your bum, okay? So you can be clenching it a little bit, but not really strongly. So it's that pelvic movement, not sticking your bum out, but you're kind of pulling it down. There we go. And we're only halfway through the stand. Keep going, okay? Pulling your belly button in. Pulling the belly button. Now you're not kind of like squeezing it in, but just lightly pulling your belly button in and up. Letting your ribs relax. Shoulders nice and open. Get the shoulders away from your ears. Don't have them hunched up. So moving your shoulder blades down your back. Tuck the chin in. And then imagine somebody is pulling the top of your head, the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. So breathing in and breathing out. On every in-breath, feeling that you're being pulled up towards the ceiling. On every out-breath, feeling the grounding effect. So there's a lot going on in that Tadasana. And you can use this part and rewind it as I go through all those instructions. But we'll just go through them once more. Pressing into the ground with your feet. Pulling your kneecaps up. Getting your tailbone down. So someone's pulling your tail down towards the ground. Pulling in the belly button. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Splaying the collarbones. Letting the shoulder blades go down your back. Tuck the chin in a little bit. And imagine somebody's pulling you up towards the ceiling. So that, my friends, is Tadasana. And as I was saying, there's a lot going on in that. And you can spend days and weeks and months just working on Tadasana. So, you've got your friendly wall nearby. We are going to try a warrior two, which is really just a lunge with added arm activity. Okay? So, come to standing against the wall. You can put your right leg forwards and your left leg behind. So you're probably mirroring me as we are doing this. So the front leg is facing out in the direction of the front arm. So the foot is facing forwards. The back foot is actually facing me, so the camera, okay? And so that's our starting position. You can lean against the wall if you want to, or you can come away from the wall if you feel I've got this. Pulling your tailbone down towards the ground a little bit to give you stability. Before we start, pull up on your pelvic floor. So it's like as if you're sucking your pelvic floor up through your center and towards your neck. So you're kind of pulling in on the belly a little bit. So it's like as if there's a central channel and you're being pulled up internally. So getting the core activation before you do anything, and then lunge forwards over that front foot. But only doing it comfortably. And for this one, please keep your knee directly over your ankle. Don't have the knee coming in like that, because that creates quite a bit of strain on the inside of your knee. So whatever version of this that you can do, and if you can't go down very far, so what, okay? Now with this, try not to lean forwards with your shoulder as well. Keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. And then you can put your arms out to the side and look over that front middle finger, and don't forget to breathe. So there's a lot going on here. This is quite an advanced pose, but I wanted you to just get the feeling of what a warrior feels like. So do it against a wall, looking out. Imagine you're gazing out over the battlefields, and here you are, ready to go. Face your day. Okay. So whatever version of that is available to you, you can do that. So let's do it on the other side. So we're going to twist around. So now the left foot is facing forward. So again, the front foot is facing where my hand is going. The back foot is facing the camera. And then you're just going to lunge. So you're not leaning with your shoulder, you're just leaning with your body. And use the wall for stability if you need to, and only go as far of a lunge that you can do, and don't hurt your knee. If there's any soreness, you just don't do it. End of, okay? Remember, by activating your pelvic floor, sucking up the pelvic floor, sucking in the belly button, not 100%, but about 50%, gives you a little bit of extra stability to your core, which will allow you to lunge a little bit. Now, if this is as far as you can go, this is a perfectly valid pose to practice. You don't have to do anything more, and in fact, don't go any further until you can breathe comfortably in this pose, okay? And then when you feel, okay, I think I can, maybe not today, but maybe another day, you feel, yeah, okay, I could put my arms out and I could still control my breathing as I do that. Well, then you try that. And look out over the front middle finger. And there you are, warrior 2. Well done. Okay. So, final thing I wanted to show you was how to bend forward in a yoga class, because some of the poses do involve bending forwards, either with our legs together or our legs apart, and you need to be able to protect yourself. So, what I suggest you do is get a chair or a stool. You want to grab a chair. Here we go. A nice comfortable chair going to help me. And do your first few forward bends with the chair in front of you. So let's do that. You've got your chair. You're going to get your hands to your waist. And let's try this version of going forwards first of all. So stick your bum out behind you. Stick your bum out behind you. Stick your bum out behind you until you feel, yeah, that's as far as I can go comfortably, and come back up. Now you have the chair there to hold on to if you feel, okay, I'm not really able to do this, okay? So sticking the bum out behind you, bending forwards. This one can be a bit, well, it can create a bit of anxiety if somebody's injured your back, but if you stick your bum out behind you and control it down, this is a really good way of strengthening your back muscles in preparation, because we need to be able to bend in our everyday life. We need to be able to do that. Bend into the boot of the car to get groceries, whatever. So, sticking the bum out behind you and coming forwards. Okay. And then let's try and do it with the hands out in front of us. So hands out in front of us, and we're going to go down to that chair. Stick the bum out, hands down to the chair, and then if you can coming back up. All right. Now the coming back up, if you feel you need to, you can walk, you can bend your knees and you can walk your hands back up. So you always have that opt-out. I'm going to call it an opt-out clause, but it isn't really. It's just being sensible about it, okay? Until you get the strength to be able to control coming back up, you know, you always have that to fall back on. And I always say to people in my yoga classes, you know, anytime you feel that you want, if you're down here and you want to come back up, you always have this available to you, climbing your hands back up your legs. So it's always there. Okay, so bending forwards and back up. Now you can also do this against a wall, because that way, now I'd step out maybe about a kind of a foot distance away from the wall to allow your bum the space to kind of go back and hit off the wall. But you can also do it that way with your chair in front of you, so that you have support of the wall behind you and the support of the chair in front of you. Okay, so don't go any further with this bending until you feel that you've got that nailed. And that can take a few weeks of doing before you feel, yeah, I can do this. I can get down to kind of my knee level and come back up, and I can do that comfortably enough. Okay, because then we're going to go further down. So bending down and controlling. This is all about control. It's easy to just go down and not control, but we want to control going down and we want to control coming up. So here we go. So we're going to do that forward bend. Now you can allow your knees to bend a little bit if you want, but once we get to about here, now start to drop your shoulders towards your knees. So you're bringing your chest towards your upper thighs. And before you know it, you're looking back through your legs, and you can let your hands drop down. And here you are in Uttanasana, woohoo. And then you can play around if you want to with straightening the legs or bending them, but only if you have the flexibility to do that, okay? So don't push that one. It's okay if you can't, just enjoy that feeling of your head being down. Now, we'll come back up and then I'll explain. So once again, you can put your hands to your legs and walk them back up. And that is your default way of getting back up. Remember, with those forward bends, you are actually bringing a fair bit of blood to your head. And most of us are well able for that, and we are designed to be able to do that. But if you feel uncomfortable, or you feel, no, that's too much, or you've got blood pressure issues that you're not sure, just go down as far as where you feel, yeah, no, I'm comfortable here. So maybe you're just down as far as there, and you put your hands there and you just hold that and you feel, yeah, I can do that. Or keep your chin tucked in. That stops the head rush. So if you keep your chin tucked in, there isn't as much blood going to your head. Whatever you have to do to keep yourself comfortable, okay? Because what does happen is, the more you do this, the better your tolerance for being in that bent position, with the head down. But that's an inversion, what we call inversion. So you need to build that up gradually. All right. So don't go any further than what your head will allow you to do as well. So it's not just a flexibility thing; it's a head thing as well. It's a blood pressure thing. It's a few things. So let's do that again. Here we are standing. We are going to bend forwards. I'm going to choose bend, sticking my bum out. Then I'm going to bend my knees, bring my shoulders towards my hips, let my head dangle, and here I am down. And then, in order to come back up, I'm either going to walk my hands up my legs, or I'm going to push into the ground, really pushing into the ground and lifting my hands up in front of me. That's a little bit more advanced, so don't worry about that. And then in time, we can do it with our hands overhead, but I'd suggest you really work on that. And then, we can add in time all kinds of fancy things and sun salutes and all that kind of stuff. So well done. That is the end of my short little series of Barely Beginners Yoga. So best of luck, and enjoy the process. Try and enjoy the little gains that you make on different days, and you can try one of the classes on one day and then try maybe the standing one the next day and then the sitting one, and just rotate them around and just gradually increase your ability to be able to do the poses. And once again, don't ever do a pose that doesn't feel right. Just stay in touch with what your body and your breathing will allow you to do. So enjoy, and hopefully you'll get to do a real live yoga class soon. Take care. Bye.